lawn chairs, Michael, and I also understand how hot it is under this mask. So I know, please spare yourself in the shade. We're gonna go and knock on doors very fast. So I'm gonna be very short. First of all, I want to thank my local EDA. They've worked hard in the last 2 years. We meet every month to tell me what's going on in the riding. It was very difficult to work under the pandemic at home, and at the same time, wanted to know what's going on in our community. And I rely on the EDA support and advice when it comes to local information. I want to thank my core team, my staff. They all here, Ram, Roy, where's my wife? Sophie somewhere.
Sophie's over there. Over there.
She is. You know, most of you already know Sophie. And Lena, Jonathan, and Maggie's over there helping out. That's the core team, and William as well. Heck, and I'll be here today. I want to thank them because it's a snap election. Nobody was ready for it. Nobody was definitely sure about which day it's going to get called. So the fact that we pull everything together in about a week and have an operation out there, you see the sign, you feel the excitement of the election in this riding. It's all their work. I just got to worry about go knock on doors and talk to residents. And in fact, I want to tell you a little bit about what I'm hearing at the door. People are asking, why are we having elections? Why are we having elections? You've dealt really well. Your government has done really well dealing with the pandemic. They're very happy with the high vaccination rate Canada has seen. So why election right now? Well, when I tell them that the parliament hasn't been working, the oppositions are playing partisan games day in, day out. Right now, we're entering the very early phase of economic recovery. We need a productive, effective federal government to lead the way. And federal leadership is important. When you see that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced all federal employees have to get vaccinated, what happens after? The municipal government says all our employees have to be vaccinated. The hospital says that. The bankers say that. So federal leadership does matter. We cannot function properly with the constant partisan game played in the parliament and the committee. We cannot have that. So our plan is very different than the one back in 2019. It's about economic recovery. It's about building Canada up. It's about dealing with climate change. And the Conservatives, they have a different plan as well. It's only fair in a democratic world to go to the country, to go to the voters and say, which way should the country react in the next 4 years and for the next generation. That's why we have an election. They agree with that. When you look at the Conservatives, it's full of contradiction. You know, there's just a lot of examples. The federal Conservative leader says they're pro-choice when it comes to abortion, which is a very hot topic amongst their party. We've taken a very clear position decades ago, right? So they're still catching up. So he said, yeah, I'm pro-choice. But in the platform, the choice given to the doctors. They can choose to perform or not perform. So over the next few weeks, you'll spot, I challenge you actually, to take a look at every party's platform and spot those details and ask yourself if it makes sense to you and make your choice. And today, I thank you for coming, joining me for a new start of a campaign. We have 30 days to go. We cannot waste not half a day, not an hour. We got to knock on every door, send our message, give our message to the voters so they can make informed decisions when it comes to September 20th. I thank you very much for coming. I want to pass the mic to my great friend, the leader of the Ontario Liberal Party, the Honourable Stephen Del Duca.
Well, good afternoon. I hope everyone can hear me okay. I am absolutely thrilled to be here with all of you on what I know is a hot afternoon. I think anyway, Han, I'm one of the last who are going to be speaking today. Is that about right?
Yeah.
And I know that there's an enormous task in front of all of you for the rest of the day and the rest of the next 4 weeks. And that is, as Han said a second ago, to knock on every single door here in Don Valley North to remind people, to remind the residents, the hardworking families of this community, that yes, collectively here in Ontario and across Canada, we have for 18 months worked together, collaborated together, suffered together, and sacrificed together to get to a reasonably good spot on this pandemic, and that is because of the extraordinary leadership from Han Dong and Bill Blair and the entire federal Liberal Party and the federal Liberal government and the Prime Minister, for sure. But as we look forward to the next month and the next 6 months and the next 10 years, the reason the stakes are so high in this election campaign locally and in Scarborough Southwest and everywhere else in this country is because we need to chart the path forward. And it needs to be positive, and it needs to be hopeful and optimistic. There needs to be a real plan to create an economy that works for everyone, a real plan to confront the climate crisis, a real plan to make sure that Canada remains the incredibly prosperous nation that we are all proud to call home. And that won't happen. I guarantee you that will not happen unless Han and Bill and the rest of the Liberal Party of Canada team are elected with the majority government on September the 20th. I've also got to say this, I know we're here to talk about federal politics, but this does make me feel like it's a bit of a Queen's Park reunion, Han, I was gonna say, to be standing next to Han and of course Michael Chan and Reza Maridi, and I was going to say, and Christina Martins, our colleague from who served as the MPP from Davenport, and to also be standing alongside Jonathan Sow, who is going to be the next Ontario Liberal MPP. I wouldn't be doing my job as leader if I didn't say this. The next 4 weeks until September 20th, we need you to dig down deep as possible, as deep as you can possibly dig down to knock on every door, put up every sign, make every phone call, and re-elect Han with an even bigger margin of victory. And then, Han, if it's okay with you for me to say this, then everyone here, part of this incredible Don Valley North Liberal family, you can take 1 day off. 1 day off, if that's okay.
Election day? No.
Not election day. Do not take election day off. The next day, you can take 1 day off. You can catch your breath, recharge your batteries. Because in about 6, 7, 8 months after that, this province will be plunged into an election campaign, and I need you, and Jonathan needs you, and Ontario needs you to keep the momentum going so we can have a Liberal partner working together between Ottawa and Queen's Park. That is how we will move Ontario forward. It is how we'll move Canada forward. But first, let's get to work. Let's re-elect Han. Thank you so very much. Please stay safe and healthy.
Easy peasy. You bet I can talk about Han. You bet I can talk about why now, right now, it is so important to have an election. I won't hear that now is the wrong time for an election. I won't hear it. Now is the time to make sure that the right government is in place to secure our future. And it's actually this government, the one that's already working. They've done so much during the pandemic. My mind explodes when I think about how fast they'll be able to move and the wonderful things they'll be able to do as we move out of it and into the rebuild for the future and build back better than ever before. So, you bet, yeah. So go out there. Don't hesitate for a moment, because if you really think about it, you've got an answer for every question in Han Dong, and you've got every reason to be proud of what we've done so far and what we're going to do in the future with the Liberal government in place. Great canvas.
Thank you, Phil.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, my Liberal friends, it's a great pleasure to be here this morning to participate in the grand opening of Han Dong's campaign office. I want to thank every one of you for being here today, and you will be here for the next few weeks until we all make sure that Han Dong will be re-elected as MP for Don Valley North in the province. Thank you very much for all of you being here. Merci beaucoup. Muchas gracias.